Okay, welcome back, guys, to Help with Henry. This is the YouTube channel where we offer constructive life advice to people who are struggling and also people who want to get better. And today's topic is crucial to that because if you are struggling or if you are on the journey to getting better, then you're going to be taking knocks in life. And today we're going to be discussing getting back up after a knock. Um, we all take knocks in life and we all have setbacks in our journey, and we all have things that we you know take as a knock. And if you've got goals and you've got ambition, or you're working on something, or you're looking to do better, or you're trying to squeeze the most you can out of life, then, and even if you're not doing that, even if you're struggling and you're just trying to achieve really simple things to get some traction, then whatever spectrum of life you're in, you're going to take knocks and you're going to take setbacks, and there's going to be hard things, and there's also going to be times that are really good, and there's going to be times where there's prosperous things, and there's going to be waves of good and waves of bad that come through in our lives. And I wanted to talk about this because we can get so disheartened when we have setbacks, and we can like want to throw everything out the door, and throw everything away that we've worked on, and it's almost like a form of destruction just because you're having a bad week, and you almost need to be just compassionate to yourself or to the others around you, especially if you're having a bad week, rather than making it more about you. Maybe make that week more about other people, um, because you'll then see some perspective. But I don't want to go off on a tangent here, so let's stick to me bullet points. Um, Recognize the journey's long. This is so important because when you look at the setbacks in the short run, you could be feeling as if you've been in the ring with Mike Tyson for the week, just getting knock after knock, and you're like borderline, your goals have just gone out the window because the things you were working on Monday, or the way you started the week was like, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then Monday's there and the legs cocked right back, ready to get you straight in the face. And it feels like you've taken 15 knocks in a row, and you can't move forward. But recognize the fact that, the lifespan of a human now is like, on average, it must be over 75 years. And from the ages of about, I mean, you really start to become more aware of your emotions at sort of, I think, after 18, but bearing in mind from about, you know, 13 or 12, your brain's developing, and you take, knocks, and you start to, get goals, and you start to, aspire to study, or aspire to get a degree, or aspire to go traveling, or aspire to, there's things that everyone works on, and on that journey of trying to obtain that thing that you're currently trying to achieve or trying to get, there's going to be setbacks in that. And I think to help you out and to make you realize that it's not personal, and that adding that time element into it, like, this is a lifetime. If you thought about a human and you thought about the way you looked at them, and you thought, well, out of 80 odd years, there's going to be a couple of years in there that feel really rough. And if you want a lot out of them, then there's going to probably be a few years where you're not, where you're struggling a bit, where you're working things out, where you're doing deep inner work to discover new realms, or to refine your mind, or to let go of destructive tendencies, or to, work on the range of self development. There's going to be years out of a lifetime, or there's going to be months, or there's going to be weeks where you think, I really hope that that week doesn't happen again. But using that perspective shift of like, this is a lifetime, this is one of those weeks, as long as you're not having one of those weeks every single week, that's the point where it gets debilitating. But if you're currently moving towards a goal, and you're feeling as if you're making some progress, then you have one bad week and you think, God, this is an absolute nightmare. I don't want this to continue happening. And I don't want to feel these emotions of like so negative, or I don't want to experience loads more setbacks. Just use that perspective shift. Like, this is in a lifetime. These are my goals that I'm working on at the moment. This is what means so much to me now. But don't let it get so on top of you that um, you forget that it's a lifetime. Yeah, there's going to be seasons of good, there's going to be seasons of prosper, there's going to be seasons where you wish they never end, and there's also going to be seasons of taking hits and taking setbacks, and getting up from knocks and forming resilience, and going deep into yourself to grow in your external life. And during those periods where you're working on things and you're getting setbacks, it's absolutely crucial for you to not throw it all away, and for you to not go, I'm just going to stop everything I'm doing now because I've had one bad week. It's your almost obligation to make sure you dust yourself off and get back up again, and using that perspective of you're in a lifetime and you might be going through a season where things are rough, and you've got to just kind of accept the fact that there's going to be weeks, there's going to be days where it feels like there's, you can't get any traction, and there's going to be weeks and there's going to be days where you think, I'm killing it. And that's life. It's not going to be like some linear track. It's like up, down, volatile all around. So just, keep that time reference in your mind for perspective, to not completely throw everything out the window. So it's not how you fall that defines you. And this is really important, because every person is going to experience setbacks. Every person is going to fall off the bandwagon from time to time. Every person is going to say something that they didn't want to say to someone who they cared about, who they said it to. Every person is going to experience something where they go, God, I really don't want to experience that again. Or, you'll make a mistake in a meeting, or you'll be sat up and presenting in front of a load of people and something will go wrong. And at that moment, that is a fall. That's a knock. That's one of life's curveballs. There's going to be a day where you accidentally put petrol in your diesel car and you're like, well, that hasn't gone well, has it? But at that moment, you've got a choice to go, well, I'm either going to throw everything I'm working on, or let's use working out for an example, because that is a real discipline. Like, if you said to yourself, I'm going to run 4 days a week, and then you have a week where you don't have the energy to go, you don't have you just can't do it, and there is times where you say, I'm just going to keep pushing through, I'm just going to keep pushing through, I'm just going to keep pushing through. But I mean, on a week where you feel like you've had enough, where you feel like you're done, and it's on that week, like, because there's weeks where you find the motivation to go and you keep going, and even if you're tired you make it work. And then there's weeks where you go, no, I am absolutely cooked this week, I've taken on too much, I've bitten off more than what I can chew, I've got other responsibilities outside of this, I've got other things I need to attend to, and I can't do it this week, I'm done. And it's on that week where you have to go, I'm now going to take a step back, and I'm going to uh, not let this define me. It's not the setback that defines you. You're just going to say to yourself, it's how I get back up after it. Yeah. So it's not the setback, it's how you respond to it, it's how you come back from it. And my recommendation here is for you to go, for example, if you're like super tired, you've got burnout, you've taken loads of knocks in a row and you're questioning everything you've been working towards, or you failed at something, or something that you were expecting to do well hasn't, my advice would be to just take a few days off, and to not make, a huge deal out of it, and just let yourself process it, and let yourself identify what went wrong, and then how to make those sort of we're going to get onto that in a minute. It's the sort of strategic course adjustments afterwards. But what you want to do is, when you experience setbacks, remind yourself that it isn't the setback in itself that makes you fall off the 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 progress you've been made, even though it may feel that way, even though it may feel like, okay, you failed at something, okay, this feels impossible, okay, I can't keep going on like this. Go, they're just thoughts, or this is just a setback in my journey, and it's now how I respond to this setback. So, you failed your driving test. On that day, it really feels as if, you know, you're not going to get back up from that, but you take more lessons, you prepare yourself more, and you resit your test. Obviously, if you take 7 driving tests and then you're still failing, then there is genuinely, there's no perfect with this, but for the majority of things, you might have taken off a bit more than what you can chew one week, and you might have overscheduled yourself, and you might have made it, really hard for yourself that week. And it's up to you to make sure that you dust yourself off, and you're not going to throw everything away when you experience a setback. So you're going to go, this has happened, and I'm now going to take action on resting, on being kind to myself, and not being destructive, and not throwing rules out the window, or not retaking up bad habits, or not acting in a destructive way, not beating yourself up, not lowering your standards. You're just going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're going to pull the reins in and you're going to stop. But yeah, it's just so crucial that you understand it's not how you fall, it's how it not when you fall, that does not define you. When you get back up, that's what defines you. Or you can say, you can use that setback as an excuse to go, I'm going to become the old person I was, or I'm going to start, taking on these bad habits again. So your fall does not define you. How you respond to it and how you come back from it 100% does. So in that split second where you've got the choice to, am I going to let this get on top of me or am I not? Don't let it get on top of you. Be kind to yourself, rest up, and then re-attack, but be kind to yourself. Yeah, and I've written on there, rest up for 3 days, right? I'm not on about small setbacks when I say rest up for 3 days. I'm on about something that's maybe meaningful for you, that you failed, or maybe you've got a super busy schedule and you've got super audacious goals, and you're just, you're trying to run, you're trying to go to the gym, you're trying to run a business, you're trying to set up a side hustle, you're trying to do some trading on the side, you're trying to maintain friendships, you're trying to make sure you've done all your washing and your shopping and your cleaning and you've got your flat, and you've got to make sure your bills are out on time, and you've got to make sure that you've taken on a huge amount of responsibility and stuff that's added to your life, and it can just get a little bit much. So if you've reached a stage of, okay, this isn't a setback, this isn't just a little knock, this is a proper setback now, this is a proper roadblock in my path, I'm feeling really done, and I can't move forward like this, I genuinely feel terrible inside, or not even tired, but you just feel awful, just take control of the situation and just say to yourself, I'm going to have 3 days off. I'm going to rest up. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm not going to be destructive. I might get an extra bag of crisps, or I might, have a few comfort drinks, but I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to have a few days deep rest, reflection. I mean, there's obviously in your life, you're still going to have, I mean, some responsibilities you can't get rid of. You still got to show up to work. You still got to, but you're going to just minimize the time you're there. You're not going to take on more projects. You're not going to take on more things. You're just going to go, right, rain's pulled in. I'm going to stop. I'm going to minimize my schedule this week. I'm going to rest up, and I'm going to rejuvenate. I'm going to come back stronger. And then, more importantly, you're going to reflect on how you got to where you did, and what sort of course adjustments you're going to make. And that brings you on to the next point, is identify the problem and make course adjustments. I've written just course adjustments, but you want to make course adjustments after identifying the problem. And my mentors used to tell me, you're the shipping tanker. Yeah, so you're the tanker in the ocean, and you've got to get all the way from here all the way to there. So you're not going to make real drastic turns. You're going to make little strategic course adjustments to make sure that a reoccurring problem is not going to happen again. And when you're doing that, you're going to say, I have got to a place in my mind where I feel terrible. Why is that? And I have overscheduled my week too much to the point where I've experienced burnout. What little course adjustments am I going to turn that run in the evening from 1 hour to 45 minutes? Am I going to dedicate slightly less time to work? Am I going to try and get a slightly shorter day? Or it might not be work related. Is there certain relationships that are hurting you, where you're not feeling good anymore, and you're really just going to objectively look at what's causing you to feel so bad, or what's the reoccurring setback, and then you're just going to make little, you know, course adjustments and little tweaks to your life to just make it easier, and then get yourself back on the on. It might be that you've worked so much and you've not seen anyone, and actually the reason that you're feeling bad is because you've done so much work, you've taken on so much, you've bitten off a bit more than what you can chew, you haven't nurtured the relationships in your life, you're not feeling loved anymore, and you just need a week of or a few days of reset, and a few days with good friends, and a few wholesome conversations with some people, and you want to feel loved again, and then you'll be right back to where you were. And what I really want you to take away from this, though, I mean, the course adjustment's absolutely essential. Don't just keep doing the same thing that's hurting you, or if there's a particular setback that's reoccurring, you really need to look into that. And I'm not saying just be blindly, just keep hammering away at that thing. Like, there comes a point in time where you go, well, I've put 2 years into this, I put 3 years into this, where you go, well, that hasn't worked. And maybe you don't take that as a setback. I don't know. But if, you know, when I'm talking about setbacks, I'm talking about you become burnt out, or you failed something that meant a lot to you, or and the majority of the time we get things that we want if we keep plugging away at it. But that's a different topic for a different day. But I need you to know that if you're not feeling great, or you feel as if you've had one of those weeks where you've just been relentless the whole week, or your mindset's really tarnished, or your overall feel towards life is really negative, then you need to take a step back, make course adjustments, and also realize that those setbacks, this short-term feeling in a really long-term life, does not define you. And what 100% defines you is how you respond to the setback. Yeah. So in that split second where you're like, I'm going to take on this destructive habit again because this, and this has gone wrong, it's like, no, instead of that, we're going to um instead of taking on the destructive habits or giving up or any of those things, we're going to take a rest. We're going to be kind to ourselves. We're going to review. We're going to reflect. We're going to come up with solutions. We're going to make strategic course adjustments instead of going, nah, this hasn't worked. I'm throwing it all away. Bang, just all gone. Is it just a one of those things that I did? No, it's like, we're gonna make the adjustments. We're gonna work forward. Um, so yeah, please, when you go through a rough week, don't let it define you. Let your definition be the way you came back from it, or the way you dusted yourself off, or the way you forged new resilience, or the way you came up with these solutions, or the adjustments that you made, or the rest that you gave yourself, or the wholesome conversations you had with the people that loved you. Um, really just don't let it all go. Keep sticking with it. Keep having faith in who you're becoming, and you'll get there. Everyone needs faith, and everyone has setbacks. Don't take it personally. Dust yourself off, take a break, make the course adjustments, bring yourself forward. Thank you so much for watching if you have, and yeah, I've got no subscribers yet, so be the first one. Cheers. Bye.